All of the photos throughout this video were shot on this here 75mm f2 full frame lens autofocus from TTArtisan, and it's priced around about $199. Now this isn't a technical deep dive lens review, this is me just taking photos with the lens and sharing some thoughts on photography, but I will talk about the lens in a little bit more detail later on in the video. The rest of this video is going to be filmed at the coast because I'm going to the coast for about 2 to 3 hours or something like that. Go to a couple of spots down the coast. But this morning I'm just stopping off here at this spot that I've had pinned on the map for years. And we are starting off with an extremely simple shot of it straight on, because from this angle we've got that lovely piece on top of the church that I think looks really cool. So I might come a bit closer and use some of this field in the foreground. So come on, come with me, you've got a photo to take. It's been quite some time since I've shot under a rainy, stormy sky like this. So I've just come to this bit here where this purple plant comes up next to the wall. And I think that might create a nice line into the church. A little bit of purple again in the foreground, just to give us a little bit of colour. But not too worried about it being particularly crazy in focus. Swap the hat round so I can see what I'm doing. Full disclosure, I'm not paid to talk about this lens and I've not been asked to share anything other than my own opinions. However, TTArtisan did reach out to gift me this lens, get it in my hands, try it out, see what the brand's about. And given that I haven't shot anything tighter than 50mm for probably way over a year now, I thought it'd be a nice challenge and a good change of pace for myself as well. In the last 4 months, this is the second budget fast full frame prime lens I've used from a third-party manufacturer for photography, and it's also the second time that I've been completely gobsmacked by the quality of a £200 budget option. Regular viewers will know I've been using a budget 40mm prime exclusively for photography over the last few months, and after having used this 75 from TTArtisan, not only for this fun little walk along the coast, but I also shot a workshop event with it last weekend as well. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that these affordable, fast and heavily available prime lenses from the likes of TTArtisan are quite drastically changing the landscape of photography. Not for everybody, of course, not for people wanting pixel perfection or people printing their images on A1 and telling their friend to stick their eyes right up to it and look at the detail of that house 50 miles in the distance of the photograph. However, and I touched on this slightly when I embarked on the 40mm lens challenge, these particular options, these budget options from companies like TTArtisan for beginners coming into the mirrorless market for the first time, for people swapping from DSLRs to mirrorless, for hobbyists and enthusiasts that don't want to take out a bank loan to grab a couple of lenses. I do believe these lenses and these options are changing the landscape for these particular people within photography. When I first bought a mirrorless camera and swapped from DSLRs, there were no budget options available whatsoever. You very much had to invest in either a very premium lens or pick up a cheap, slow, low quality kit lens. But having said that, despite the fact that we had decades of DSLR lenses to choose from and lots of fantastic budget options, I don't think I ever used a budget DSLR lens that was quite as good as these budget options that we now have from companies like TTArtisan to aid our mirrorless cameras. What I'm trying to get at is these options means there's way less people left in limbo, way less people being worried about upgrading their camera to a mirrorless system or changing system, changing brand, upgrading in general, and being worried about having no money left over for any lenses other than perhaps 150mm or something like that. But most importantly, I'm a firm believer that most beginners in photography, and even some intermediate photographers, even some professional photographers maybe, don't really have a full idea of what focal length or what style of lens, whether prime or zoom or what have you, is going to suit and aid their photography perfectly. And I think these options come in there and give us a chance to try different focal lengths, zooms, primes at an affordable price to help us figure out where we can then make really calculated purchases in the future. And I think this is where the major difference lies right now in photography is if you picked up a super budget lens back in the day, you could play around with it, you could have some fun with it, but it's likely that the images are probably going to be flawed quite a bit or too subpar, whereas these options nowadays, honestly, in some cases you can't really tell the difference, especially if the photographer is really capable and knows what they're doing. Of course, they're not perfect, they all have quirks and stuff, but like I say, to have them on the market as a choice for people, choice is power, and for those people out there that are not strapped for cash at any time, then the premium options still exist, so it's all good. Now 75 is a bit of an obscure focal length, especially for somebody like me, and I would say, at least I believe, that 85 is way more popular and common in the photography market across the different brands that sell lenses. But what I would say about 75mm specifically is that it is a very safe and comfortable focal length, especially for beginners. Perhaps you're a photographer that's maybe a little bit nervous when you go out with your camera because you've not been shooting long. Maybe you're somebody that just likes to stay out of the way of people and hang back and be able to take photos comfortably. This is where I think 75mm is really quite a great balance of being able to hang back and take photos without being bothered or having interactions that maybe you don't want, but also it's not so tight that you need to cross a road and go into someone's garden in order to take a photo of something from closer up, perhaps a tighter frame. Prime lenses are never really known for their versatility. Zoom lenses obviously take that crown. However, 75mm I think sits really nicely in between perhaps those wider prime lenses that people navigate towards, and then perhaps the super zoom lenses that people navigate towards. I found at least that I can still go in and get some really great close-up details and get close to my subject and stuff. However, if I do want a wider shot, I can step back. Cons would probably be, for me at least personally, and the way I like to photograph, is that I couldn't really carry this around as a one lens only lens for photography unless I was going to these wider, vaster areas like the coast. Because when I'm in more enclosed spaces, when I'm photographing some ruins and structures and buildings and stuff that I do very, very often. Sometimes there's no room for you to move back further. There may be bushes in the way or something. So I think it combos really nicely with a wider lens in certain situations, or it really, really lends itself to going to wider areas where you've got a lot of space to move around and you can pick and choose whether you are just shooting nice and tight or you're stepping back to get that wider shot with a tight focal length. So just a quick note about build for this lens. I said it wasn't going to be a technical video. I'm not pulling up sharpness charts or anything, but I will quickly talk on the build. For a budget option, it really is pretty robust. It's metal, it's got some weight to it. There is a clicky aperture ring on there. Comes with a lens hood. The packaging is really nice as well. And to be honest, it's quite compact as well. It's not huge. It's only a little bit bigger than my 50. So I think that's great as well, because cameras are getting smaller. We don't need ginormous lenses on our cameras all the time anymore. Of course, it's not weather sealed. Of course, there's quirks to it. I do wish the aperture ring could lock, because I did find that it was very easy to accidentally switch to f16 by accident. The other segments click nicely and have a bit more friction, but A to f16 seems to slide a little bit too easy. But again, this is a budget option, so can you really ask for a lock button on there? Who knows? But all things considered, this is a really well built lens, and given the photos that I've taken with it over the last week, I would say it is more than worth its price tag. That's going to be it from me in this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to support my channel in any way, shape or form, please check out the links in my description. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.